Actor, Oscar-winning director, on-screen cowboy, singer, Kevin Costner just can't seem to help excelling in everything he tries his hand at. As magnetic and interesting as his on-screen performances are, so is his fascinating backstory. Here are some shocking secrets that fans never knew about Kevin Costner. Born and raised as an LA native, it's no surprise that Costner found himself embroiled in the entertainment industry. Time and time again, Costner has found himself playing a gun-toting action hero. His interest in guns came long before his on-screen characters did, though. During an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel, Kevin told Jimmy that when asked by a teacher to bring the coolest thing they owned to show and tell, Kevin decided he needed to bring in the coolest thing his dad owned. And that happened to be a long-range rifle. Well, sometimes life really does imitate art, or the other way around. Costner was inspired to try his hand at acting during his last year of college, shortly after he married Cinderella. Well, Cindy Silva, who happened to play Cinderella at Disneyland. On the plane back from his honeymoon, Kevin had the chance encounter of a lifetime, something many actors could only dream of: the opportunity to pick Richard Burton's brain. Burton, who had bought out the seats around him for privacy, agreed to speak with Kevin. Kevin told Richard about the acting classes he was in, and asked him if he became famous, would he have to put up with all the Hollywood drama that Richard did. Richard simply replied, "You have blue eyes. I have blue eyes. I think you'll be fine." Sure, Dick, great advice. Well, clearly Costner believed it to be. To this day, he still partially credits his chat with Burton for the success he's had in his career. And what a successful career it's been for Costner. While he's played many characters in a variety of films, there are some cult classics that Kevin's name is synonymous with: The Untouchables, JFK, Field of Dreams, Hidden Figures, Dances with Wolves, which won Costner an Academy Award for directing, The Bodyguard, where he starred alongside Whitney Houston. And finally, and most recently, his name has been in the spotlight for starring in the television series Yellowstone on Amazon Prime. While Costner hasn't been in as many westerns as, say, Clint Eastwood, he's been in the role long enough for fans to notice that he's at ease with it, and on horseback. In the series, which is close to airing the second half of its 5th season, Costner plays a Montana rancher named John Dutton. John owns Yellowstone Ranch, which happens to be the largest ranch in the United States, another area in which life imitates art. While Costner doesn't own the biggest ranch in the United States, he owns a luxuriously outfitted one named Dunbar Ranch. Based in Colorado, the ranch is situated on 160 acres of land. Not too shabby. Don't get jealous though. For the very low price of $36,000 a night, you too can live like Kevin Costner. When he's not there, of course. Dunbar Ranch is not only available for rent when the Costners are away, but it's also available for all of your party and wedding needs, starting at only $350,000. Clearly, Mr. Costner has a good business mind. Aside from renting out his own personal home, what kind of dough does Kevin rake in from his acting work? Well, in the 5th season alone, millions. He was pulling in $1.2 million per episode of Yellowstone. As big of a number as that is, it's a flash in the pan in terms of his net worth. A whopping $320 million. It looks like all those acting classes Kevin did paid off. When you've got that kind of a big, cozy financial security blanket, you've got the right to go out and try some other things. This translated to Kevin helming a country music band. The name, you ask? Kevin Costner and the Modern West. Once again, where does the character end and Kevin begin? While many hobbies of the rich and famous end up being just that, hobbies, Kevin managed to give his band a sort of cultish, underground country following. Kevin and Than's Modern West went on a worldwide tour. Their most recent album was a mixture of character acting and musical stylings. The album is titled Tales from the Yellowstone. It's an album where Kevin and the Modern West went a little methodical and wrote their songs as if they were from the viewpoint of John Dutton. And to nobody's surprise, their songs have made it into quite a few of Yellowstone's episodes. Costner didn't stop at looping some of his melodies into his acting projects. He also managed to cast one of his teenage sons in an upcoming film of his. In the Western film, yes, Costner will be accompanied by his young son Hayes. The film, which was written, directed by, and stars Kevin Costner, has already had 3 sequels greenlit. Although the first film has yet to be released, the first sequel was already filmed in summer of 2022. Kevin's plan for the film was to have it be a 4-part series, releasing all films 3 months apart. Those are some lofty goals, Kev. The good news is that Costner's got that safety blanket we talked about, just in case the critics get tired of the Old West. Unimaginable, we know. Hopefully that won't be the case though, since the 3rd installment began filming in April of 2023. While Kevin has definitely made his name as a cowboy actor, he's also starred in a handful of baseball films. In Bull Durham, For the Love of the Game, and Field of Dreams, Kevin got to act out his love of baseball. Because yes, this is another area in which Kevin's real life imitates art. What can we say? He's just a man who knows who he is and what he likes. Costner even stated he would love to make one last big baseball film and have it be all about the Chicago Cubs. Despite the fact that Kevin has managed to be well known as a successful celebrity, there was a time that he starred in a box office flop. Actually, one of the biggest movie flops of all time. The film, Waterworld, had a budget of $175 million, which is considered quite a large budget now. So can you imagine how much that would have been in the 1990s? Despite the astronomical budget, the film only managed to make $20 million. Luckily for Kev, that film failure didn't follow him. Lucky for his fans, too. Despite the fact that Costner has an adoring, large group of fans, he doesn't concern himself too much with the way the public sees him. While he doesn't shy away from sharing his political views, he does not allow any sort of negative feedback to weigh him down. With that kind of attitude and viewpoint, it's pretty apparent that Costner is a salt-of-the-earth type of guy. When asked about how he got in shape for his more athletic roles, the 68-year-old keeps it pretty simple. He forgoes hand weights for picking up one of his 7 children. And instead of going for jogs, he just runs after his kids while they are playing. Costner says all he has to do is work hard at playing harder than his kids. That is a philosophy we could all use as we age. We'll do our best, Kev. Well, from Kevin Costner's eerily similar private personas bearing striking resemblance to his on-screen personas, his down-to-earth approach to getting older, his dalliance with Richard Burton, and his work both on page and behind the screen, these were some of the secrets fans never knew about Kevin Costner.